7 seconds. All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakak. Also want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who's teaching this truth in sincerity and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that scattered four corners of the earth, which are you so-called Negroes, Latino Hispanics, Native American Indians, the true Israelites that's coming out that elect nation, the nation of Israel, that the Lord is dealing with, okay? It's the brother Yawanathan, GMS Detroit, and just going through the spirit. And I want to entitle this video, the comfortable versus the patient, okay? Because we got a lot of people out here that are not in the know, that's not knowing what's going to happen. Because the people that's not in the know, they're looking for that bag. They trying to secure their security, basically being comfortable, thinking that things ain't going to be happening, that things are not going to happen, thinking that, this place is never going to be done away with, talking about America, of course. And even amongst the Israelite community, the ones, like I said, you can see like IUIC, for example, Sakari, because they're not eating the whole roll, Now, at GMS, we have the 100% truth. So, and we will take the whole roll to the best of our ability, because we know that you can't follow the law, statutes, commandments to a T in this society, man. Okay? So I got some scriptures queued up. Let me get Revelations 14. Not trying to be long-winded, but Revelations 14. And 12, and I'm going to be picking out, I'm going to be using, getting into words really. So it's Revelation 14 and 12, and it says, "Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai." Okay? So we follow the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability, and we have that faith that we can't do this, we can't have salvation without, the help of Yahweh Shai, man. He's the deliverer. But the point I was getting into, it says the patient. When you get into patience, it gets into suffering. You got to suffer in these things, man. Now we're suffering for the deliverance to get out of this place, so we have to wait on Yahweh Shai. But there's things in this world that, you got to put off. Things that you don't like. Because we're all in the world once. Some Jake, we got that one Israelite, I forgot his name, the big dude who was eating pork. Some people can't put down the pork chops. Some people, some men can't control their rods. But it's good to be patient, because what's happening when you exercise patience, you're conditioning yourself. You get used to it. All right. Let me get 1 Thessalonians 5. Verse 3 and 5. Here we go. This is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 3. And it says, "For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as a trail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." Basically, you might think, oh, everything's all good. I can kick back, I'm at peace, I'm at my home. And then, things just get bad. Lockdowns, Jacob's trouble, things like that. Now you're off guard, you know, because everybody thinks when Yahweh Shah returns, it's going to be a great day. No. And a lot of people think that this place cannot fall. People think this place is going to last forever. People get too comfortable with being in their comfortability. And that's why, I listen to the elders and apostles, they get into, like Elder Apostle Tar say, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And you can see them exercising it, like with Elder Apostle Gabar. He did a lesson, you see him, that's why I think, in my opinion, brothers should eat healthy, fast more, exercise, condition yourself. Because when you condition yourself, you're used to it. You suffer through training, but yet with keep doing it, and they're having reputation is the father of skill. You get better at it. You're used to it. Okay, I was telling about Elder Apostle Gabar. He goes for walks, goes for bikes. He does his little bike rides. Elder Manatazak by South Carolina. He does his walks, his jogs. Another thing that Elder Apostle Gabar started doing, he said he got used to taking cold showers. Because once this society collapsed, when you get into, let me grab it, Isaiah, that just popped up into my head. Isaiah 19:15, there shall be no work for Egypt. Because you got to understand, this place is nothing, it's a corporation. Let me grab it real quick. This is Isaiah 19, verse 15. It says, neither shall they be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So no matter if you at the top or at the bottom, because we got a I forgot what I'll just use the word ranking system, but that's not the word I want to use. But regardless, everybody gets a paycheck, okay? From police, from the water company, the heating companies. I'm in Detroit, so we got DTE. That's what controls our gas and things. But no work, you ain't gonna have that luxury of having, heated water. So Elder Apostle Gabar was like, I take cold showers, because there's gonna be a time where we're gonna have to do these things. There's gonna be a time where, like the Monopoly board, you might pass the electric company, pay something, and then you might not pass, go and collect $200. Okay? It's gonna be hard out here. All right? So that's why, it's better to cherish, to be patient and suffering through these things, especially the things and the times to come, the bad times. All right? And even on a small matter, because you see a lot of the Israelite camps. Let me grab this one too. That don't really do the will of the Lord. That's why you really got to be familiar with this thing. Slacky, give me a second. It's either 19 or 21 in Leviticus. Yep, here we go. And it says, this is 19 and 27. And it reads, ye shall not round the corners of your heads, neither shall there mar the corners of thy beard. Because Jake, they'll go to the barbershop, but as time progresses, when I was a little kid, I used to hate going to the barbershop. And as I got older, I could appreciate it. You feel clean, you feel smooth. But now in today's time, when you go to the barbershop, you'll see Jake, man, I got a hit. I'll be watching like tutorials on how to cut your hair appropriately, not balding, but make it look presentable. You can do things to be presentable and not go off, okay? But you look at some members of IUIC, man, they got their hair all lined up, man. Like I said, Elder Apostle Gabar be like, man, got the Krispy Kreme lineup. And that's the reason why I'm bringing that up. That's a small thing that you can put off. That is not hard at all. Like, these are things that make you feel comfortable. You look good, God, man, it does get vexing when you think about it, because, once you're a man of the Lord knows, okay, these people know, okay, the Lord's dealing with this man, all right? But that's the vibration Esau is putting on the world, man. It's going to be hard, man. So that's why, let me get Romans real quick. This is just going to be real quick. Romans, the 12th chapter, starting at 1. It reads, this is Romans 12:1. It says, beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service. So when we go in the highways and byways, we looked at it as a spectacle, man. Being laughed at, looked at, talked about. They do it as a sport, But the point is in 2. And it says, and be not conformed to this world, but ye be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. All right? Not to be conformed to this world, because if you've conformed to this world, you wanna get lined up. You wanna shave all that off. You wanna get tatted. I know I got lots of tattoos, but when I came to this world, that's when you had to stop that shit, repent, and put on that new man. Okay? But, as you can see, as time go on, as you see time and time go on, you see that they're trying to be slick with the unrighteousness, promoting it, but you can see it increasing. All right? And sometimes it might feel good to you to be accepted to do these things in this wicked ass society, but that comes with the territory. Satan. Okay? But what does the scripture say? So let's get Matthew 7, Salakia. It reads, enter ye, this is Matthew 7:13. It says, enter ye at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, that many there be which go in there. Okay? Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Okay? So that straight gate, man, it's hard. It's a time of adversity, difficulty, obstacles, Sorry, it's ducks fighting. But it's difficult. It's not gonna be easy. It said it's narrow. You're going through a narrow pathway, a narrow crowd of people, but it leads you to life, which is primarily going to be for the elect. Okay? But it says the broad is the many that lead to destruction, because you can see the vibration of what the world is following, even our people. leaning to thy own understanding, believing on a false idol, a false god, doing the ways of this world, ways of being comfortable, so on and so forth, you know. So it's really good just to, you know, practice, you know, do things outside of your box, you know. Like me, I want to start going, like me, I do things, I try to exercise little things that I know I can be, that I don't like doing, or habits that I do, or cut off habits that I do. Like going to sleep sooner, waking up earlier, you know, working out, force myself to do videos, so on and so forth. What else, Jay? You know, everybody has their own resume and list of things that makes you suffer or uncomfortable, you know, but through the Spirit, if you're doing it through the Spirit, it'll be profitable for you, okay? But Lord willing, I hope this video was edifying. And again, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. And again, double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, teaching truth and sincerity, and also who rule well. Peace and salutations to the whole full elect. When the clouds out, say shalom, and on to the next lesson.